This video is brought to you by Sportsman's Guide Buyers Club. You can go ahead and join the Buyers Club and start saving 10% on gear and 5% on blasters. They've got military surplus, gear, ammo, boomsticks, all that jazz. Check below in the description so you can start saving now. Party on, let's make a video. Here we go. All right, so over the years of teaching firearms and tactics, I've come across some of the most epic, fail, terrible advice ever. Some of it's comical, and if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry about it. Some of you guys have fallen victim to this crap advice, and so I'm here to set you back on the straight and narrow path and dispense with that idiocracy. So here we go. Number one, aim up and right. Don't aim up and right. Now, most folks are right-handed shooters, and what that means is whether they're anticipating the shot or they're punching a trigger or their fingers too far into the trigger well, there's a lot of things that can go into why you're shooting down and left, but right-handed people shoot down and left. Left-handed people shoot down and right. And so the idea is while I'm shooting down and left, your first thought is, well, it's the gun. And folks will say, yeah, this gun is shooting down and left. In fact, that's a joke that I'll do with other instructors, where I'll go up to an instructor and be like, hey, this gun sucks. This Glock, it's shooting down and left. And we have that deep, hearty belly laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Yes, it's probably the gun. It's not the gun, bro. It's you. You're doing it. There is the exceptional gun, which is way, way off. It's going to be some stub-nosed 1.5-inch kind of barrel that you bought for $50 and you got ripped off on. Yeah, there's exceptions to this rule, but you're not the exception. You're the rule. And if you're missing down and left consistently, guys, it's you. So what folks will sometimes do is they'll blame the gun, or they'll take their sights and peg it all the way over to the side, thinking that the sights need to be adjusted to mitigate that far left hit. Or they do something even worse than all of it, and that's they aim up and right to mitigate that. Well, I'll aim up and right, and so when you miss down and left, it'll go right where you want. This is akin to like a golfer, like me, who lines up and then they hit, and it slices way left. Every time, slice way and left. This is how I play golf, guys. And so what I'll do instead is I'll aim way right. Here's the hole, and I'll aim way right, and I slice it left, and it goes right where I want it to. Take that, Tiger Woods. What's up? No, I'll never be a good golfer like that. All I'll do is not have to hunt so much in the woods, but I'll never actually get good with any type of consistency like that. Same thing is true with this, guys. Fix your fundamentals. Don't fudge it by, hey, I always shoot down, so let me aim up. That's a no-go. Don't do that. That's number one. Worst tip number two, for two-handed shooting, some instructors will say, hey, when you shoot cover left, switch hands. Now, guys, there's a time to shoot one-handed like this, a time to shoot one-handed like this, and then there's the two-handed. But there's never a time to do this. The idea is it's going to give you a little bit extra advantage on the left side, and it doesn't work. I'll show you. A door. Here's me right-handed, two-handed grip. Here's right-handed, left-handed. Right-handed, left-handed. It gives you absolutely no advantage. All you're doing is now where you could do a good job, now you're throwing a ball left-handed. And that's awkward and it's worthless. Again, there's a time to shoot one-handed, either side. Or this, never this. It's just crappy advice. All right, the third terrible piece of advice is ignore your sights. And I gotta be a little bit cautious here because this is based on a good principle. That principle is 96% of all violent encounters happen at distances of 7 yards or less, with the majority of those happening at 3 yards or less. That means you have no time. And so when you draw and present, it's just going to be bam. And so these folks argue, hey, you're not going to be able to get that nice sight alignment that you would like to on the range. Therefore, most of our training where we're getting that good sight alignment, sight picture, meticulous, hard focus on your front sight that's happening on the range, it's a fiction. You're not going to be able to do that in a fight. And I think there is certainly fights that you have a little bit more distance or a little bit more time. You know, you're a few shots in, you may be able to pick up those sights very, very well. But anyway, the kernel that is based on is pretty legitimate. This is what's also called point shooting. Point shooting is basically you present a gun and indexed off your body's position, you just look at it and it shoots, right? So that you're not really getting that hard, crisp sight alignment that you would want to. Point shooting. Point shooting has a place, definitely. But what I want to talk about is how we get to be good point shooters. Now, the idea is, hey, in that compressed amount of time and space, you may have to point shoot. But the person who's always practicing for good sight alignment and sight picture and that hard focus on your front sight, what they're training their body to do constantly is have this precise, brilliant, very meticulous alignment. So what's happening is they're dredging these deep neurological pathways that their body is constantly remembering, and it syncs up with their sight alignment and picture so that they can throw a gun out in perfect alignment, perfect alignment, perfect alignment. That's what they're trying to get every time. So that when they go to point shoot, even if they don't see their sights, they're already right out of the gate far better point shooters than the people who practice point shooting all the time. If you practice point shooting, you're always going to have a little bit of slop in your presentation. The best way to get really good at that point shooting and those real close-up encounters is to work meticulous, hard front sight focus, sight alignment, sight picture in the traditional way you would do on the range. Guys, make sure you subscribe to this video, like, comment with some other terrible advice that you may have heard, and maybe I'll include those in future videos because as I'm thinking about it now, more and more terrible advice is coming to me. But those are 3 that I wanted to tackle that kind of grate on me. Also, remember to check out the Sportsman's Guide Buyers Club and start saving today. So guys, train hard, train smart. I'll see you next time.